what was the first album or song you bought, and why did you choose it?
Oh, I think over the years I've been asked this question a few times, and I actually do have it. I know this answer. The first album I ever bought was actually Cassette Tape, because that was important. I don't think I ever owned an LP myself. I never bought one myself, but I owned a cassette tape, and it was Wham! Make It Big.
Yes, I love
Wham! And the
gotta
album was
love
called
George
Make
Michael,
It
man.
Big. Yes, George Michael and Wham! Was an incredible group. Make It Big was the album that had Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, and
I had
I
that album. Yeah.
think Careless Whisper was on that one too.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was that. And then my first cassette single I ever bought was Erasure Chains of Love, which is also a great song. Why are you laughing?
I'm
Are you
not
laughing
laughing.
at?
No, I like that song. It's a great song.
It is a great song. But do you know what it tells you about the little boy who bought that? Same thing it tells you about the little boy who bought Wham! Make It Big. Gay, gay. So my first two pieces of music were really indicative of what I would become. But yeah, those were mine. What was your first album? Do you remember?
So I don't really remember what the first album was that I bought. I think it was Michael Jackson Off the Wall. It had Thriller on it. It had some other good songs on it. PYT, Pretty Young Thing.
Wait. Thriller wasn't on Off the Wall. Thriller was on its own album. Thriller was Thriller. I think so. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're right about that. As someone who owned the album, I think Thriller was on the Off the Wall. And when I say album, I mean album. I had the LP.
That's true. You
I
had
had
the
the big wax disc, right?
Well, let's say, hold on before we find out, before we Google this after the pod is over. People in the audience, you let us know, what side are you on? Was Thriller on Off the Wall, or was Thriller on Thriller? It was on Thriller.
There was no. Okay. If you bought the single, sure, but it wasn't a single. I had a whole album. It had like eight or 10 songs on there. Anyway, beside the point. So I think that was the first one, but I can tell you the first one that I was gifted, the first one I remember asking for.
Oh, okay.
For my birthday, I asked my parents for the album, and I don't remember the name of it. But anyway, it was the Culture Club album. It was one that had Karma Chameleon on it.
Yes.
I loved Boy George. I loved all of it. I mean,
how could you not? Yeah, brilliant.
Music in the 80s was just there's no other. And I know there's people that don't agree, but music played such a big part. They're wrong. Yeah. But I remember my dad being very confused. He gave me the album and he's like, I went in to buy this. And is this a girl or a boy? I'm like, doesn't matter. Just give me my album. Yeah. And listen to every song repeatedly. So yeah, but those were records. I didn't start buying tapes until I was a little bit older, probably 12, 13, 14. So I actually had albums, and you could buy a single. You could buy a single record. Of 45 was about that big.
Come on, see, this is what we're talking about. She was born in 1942, and she's trying to tell me she's born in 72, but she's not. I know she's
73. 73.
Oh, sorry, 73. Yes.
Don't make me older than I am.
All right. Well, that's the end of Icebreakers. I think that's a fun way to get to know us. We'll do that a little bit more. We'll do some other things more to get to know us as well. But if you have any other questions or any random musings you'd like to know about us, feel free to let us know in the comments below.